Hey, welcome to another Valley Forged. We are talking about the state of lasers in 2026. I did a video. I'm going to try and do one every year. I did one almost a year ago and really just wanted to have a time capsule, not just for myself, but for everybody out there to say, okay, what was going on in lasers this year? What has changed? What hasn't changed? Some years are going to be busier than others. It's just kind of how it is. I am somebody who just really loves lasers. Been doing this, 5-6 years now, and I'm happier now than I've ever been. I just love doing it. So what has changed? What hasn't changed? I still have the Atom Stack Craft right there. In my last video, I was talking about it and the fact that I love it. It was a 20 watt at the time. They came out with the 40 watt module and I couldn't be happier. I literally just think it's the best diode laser on the market for an all-in-one, this basic type, right? Not the cheapest on the market, but certainly I barely have to clean it. It just does everything I asked. I never waste a piece of wood because it just doesn't go through or some random piece, It just does what it's supposed to do. And I am so appreciative. I'm going to put a link below for everything that I talk about in this video that I can anyways, you know what I mean? I can work with any laser manufacturer I want to, and I will talk about this as we go. I have discontinued my relationship with at least one company this year, and that's something else I'm going to talk about because you never know. I mean, I'm going to never say never. I like to give companies a second or third chance, but the third chance is done. I also have behind me is the ValleyMaster, which is a fantastic CO2 laser. And so that is new. Over here, you can't see it, but I'll put up a picture, is the Alien Cell X1, which is a really great laser. I can use it for doing slightly bigger things if I want to. In fact, I just did a video on these layered projects, which will come out in a couple of days. I can't believe I did 9 of these in one day. So easy to do with some new stuff from Craft Closet, and we'll talk about that. That is the lasers I have in the house, but I have some more coming. So there are a lot of new lasers coming out this year. There are things that I haven't worked with yet that I want to. Like last year, I tried the CNC. I like CNCs. I just find to be really creative, it took a lot more effort and work than I felt like I was getting from it. It just wasn't for me. I also wanted to mention, the shop is a mess right now because I am just doing so many fun projects. I've got so many to do for y'all, and it feels like there's not enough time in the day. Plus, I'm running a laser business, and I'm getting ready for Christmas, which I think everybody should be doing now. In fact, I should make a video about that. But I just wanted to show you, this is embossing. I am embossing. This is regular veg tan leather. If you look closely, you can see I did this light one. So it just looks like you've got this real light wood on it. It's a new technique I'm working on. And I did this one like super, super heavy so that, it literally made the leather flatter. But what a trip, huh? It's just right. And of course, these are wallets from my wallet file. So I will be able to do embossing entire wallets. And this is permanent. So it's just, I don't know. I love just doing new crazy things. So expect more of that for this channel. UV lasers. I'm going to mention all of these things. It's kind of stream of consciousness, but UV lasers have really come out big in the last year. I can see why. Clack Shack on his video about the COM marker, which is somebody, it's a manufacturer I have not worked with, and it seems like they do pretty good work. So I will probably be contacting COM Marker and see if I can't work with them. I'd really love to try out a UV laser, and I think that's going to be my next thing after, the next couple come in. They seem to be able to do a lot of things that I can't currently do. I have had a fiber laser before, but metal just wasn't my thing. I think if you had a really, really powerful, they could do like 1/4-inch steel or something, that might be something I could work with. But just a basic fiber laser was just kind of sitting around, not something I would use that much. I think a UV laser is going to really... In fact, I just did a video on fiber, CO2, UV, and diode. I just did one just talking about all of those and what they're useful for and whatnot, so you could check that out. Ace laser. I think that we all kind of got to talk about this. Last year when I made this video, Ace laser had already... talked about their laser coming out, and we were expecting it. At least I was. And then here we are a year later, and I looked it up, and they said shipping in October. Now, maybe some of the earlier ones might ship before that. I don't know. I was just watching, and I'll put it up here, who had got the first, unofficial model and was just going to do some material testing for it. And they were talking about when they're done with that, maybe they'll get the actual one. I would suspect August or September before they got that. But I don't know. I just have my thoughts. It's a very, very complicated machine. Last year, I asked if it was vaporware because I think this is a very difficult thing. So I'm not going to say one way or the other. I'm just going to say I hope it comes out soon. I'd really like to see it. I'd really like to see innovation when it comes to lasers, and that's probably the most innovative machine on the market, right? So we'll keep an eye on that. X-Tool, probably the leader in consumer-based lasers, has kind of moved away, and they were doing this last year, away from the open gantry and your basic 10-watt type machines. They have done the UV laser and the dual lasers and UV printing and all of these different kinds of things. So they're always innovating, but they seem to be coming out with things that aren't like your basic diode lasers anymore. And I noticed Atom Stack has kind of done the same thing, not really concentrating on the low end. So there's a lot of competition right around that $1,500 to $2,000 range, and up for consumer level lasers right now. And what we're seeing on the low end is a lot of just the same machines that have been out for the last couple of years. Nothing really that new or interesting from what I've seen. Maybe there's something you can point out to me and say, hey, have you seen this? A lot of really great machines. It's just not anything that I would consider new and innovative. You may notice on my channel that you don't see X-Tool machines. I used to review them. In fact, I reviewed the S1, which I thought was a great machine, but I just felt a little pressured by them. I felt like they want me to make commercials, and I think you'll notice on other channels, they always kind of seem like commercials. They're very into what you're doing and how you're making your videos, and that's just, at least right now, is not something I really want to deal with. But I do feel like they make good machines, maybe a little on the higher end as far as expensive goes, but they are innovating. And I think I mentioned that last year. I do like to see that. And so I'm not knocking them for what they do. And I appreciate that they're in the market, still innovating, not resting on their laurels. I did want to mention Sunday Night Live with Clack Shack and Vintari. I just appreciate that they're still out there answering people's questions, being part of the laser community for all this time consistently. Go over, I'll put up a link for that as well, and go over, give them some love and appreciation for being up there, because it's something we really need. And their reviews and whatnot, I think they're doing a great job. So we'll see where we're at next year, right? Last year, I talked about the 120 watt diode lasers, and we didn't know really where that was going to go at the time. Well, I guess a year later, we can kind of say that didn't really happen. I think 40 watts still seems to be a super great sweet spot. I have the 50 watt behind me and a 40 watt and a 40 watt. And a 50 watt CO2 laser really is a 40 watt when it comes to what you're going to output. So I basically got 340 watt lasers in the house, and that seems to be a really good spot for it. There are a few other lasers and different powers coming onto the market pretty soon that I'll be reviewing. And I will give it to you straight as always, and we'll see how they compete. And that I'm going to have lots more things to talk about, but I'll talk briefly on prices. I'm not seeing a lot of really great pricing for the low end. I want something that I could recommend for new customers. I think longer makes a great laser, but I think the Ray 5 is just too old. Like I said, they're really, really consistent, great machines. They don't break down a lot, none of the longer machines. And that's something I appreciate from them. They do kind of cover the low end. So if you are looking for a laser, I'll put a link below for them as well. The B1 is an excellent laser. So kind of take a look. Just know with the Ray 5s, you're not going to go really high speed. They're going to get jiggly. They're not going to be clear. They work really, really well at the lower end speeds. The B1 is definitely better for your faster movement. It's much more precise. So if the prices are similar, I would go with the B1. Just remember, you need an enclosure. You need air assist. You need fume extraction. I'm going to make a video on fume extraction pretty soon because I think I've learned a lot and it's pretty important. And I think there's lots of ways to do it very cheap. 3D printing, I'm going to add into here. That was kind of coming along, and a lot of laser channels were kind of doing 3D printing as well. It's something that I'm interested in. A lot of people in the 3D printing world will say their community isn't quite so nice and easygoing as it is in the laser world. I really love the laser community, and something that's always really kept me in it because the laser people just seem like really great people. But I do hope to throw in just for making venting and things like that, having a 3D printer around would be really nice. And so it seems right now that Bamboo Lab and Snapmaker, I would think, are the top two. Bamboo Lab is kind of everywhere. But you can leave a link below, or leave a comment below. Let me know how you feel about 3D printers right now. This year we've had a kind of a scandal with Bamboo Lab not being as consumer friendly as people would like. And that's something that matters to me. So it's something I pay attention to. I did reach out to Snapmaker, but no luck so far. The UV... Another thing that in the past year, and I kind of missed it because I went on vacation when it really ramped up, is the UV printing craze. UFimate came out and kind of gave all the laser creators a UV printer. I would really like to know if any of you guys have UV printers at home. How is it working for you? Are you happy you bought it? Now, there's some projects that I would like to use with a laser that having a UV printer would really, really, really be helpful. So, especially with the CO2 laser too. So it is something I'm looking into. I just want to work with the right company and maybe wait until something is, we know works well and people are happy with. And then I would like to get one of those. CO2 lasers, I haven't seen a ton of change in the past year, especially with your larger full frame CO2 lasers. Last year, the Aeon and the Aeon Mira came out, and a lot of people were really into that. I haven't seen anything beyond that. It's kind of been the same. As far as the desktops, though, of course, we have the ValleyMaster, which I have, which I think is as close to a diode and ease as I've ever seen with a CO2 laser. Usually, there are just a lot of things to deal with that you don't want to deal with compared to a diode, but then you could do the materials you can't do with the diode. So it's always been this kind of weighing, what you want to do. But the beam alignment and the red laser and the way that it's packaged, it really, really has been a raise the bar as far as desktop CO2 lasers to be. I also think it's a pretty good looking machine. I noticed on Ventari's channel, he just reviewed the OM Tech Polar 2, but that's an RF, so I'm guessing it's going to be quite a bit more expensive. This is like $1,700, I think, with a discount or whatever. $1,600 to $1,700. And I don't think you're going to get that with an RF, which is kind of a solid state CO2 laser, which is nice, but again, price is probably not going to be in most people's budget. But I am glad they came out with it. It looks pretty nice. The laser business, the laser community as a whole, where are we at? I think I really need to address that. I do see that we matured last year, as I mentioned in the video, and I would say laser sales are going down, would be my guess, especially just in your basic CO2 and diode market. The UV is probably going up quite a bit. I don't have numbers to back that up right now. I'm just kind of going off the stream of consciousness. What I see, we saw a pretty good craze of lasers last year, and I think that has kind of matured. And I'm very interested to see a year from now who's still doing it. I think a lot of the review channels are gone. I see a lot more companies reaching out to me and more interested than before. Even though I'm not your typical unboxing or review kind of channel, I mean, I love to review lasers so that you know what's out there, but it's not something I really want to spend too much time making everything perfect and doing all that. I just, want to show you what the laser does and make some projects. So I will be interested to see who's still around and, what's still working next year at this time. Another thing that I wanted to talk about was just sales, right? I see a big change in what's being able to be sold. What are people wanting? I think that really a lot of these cheap stores, dollar stores, even like a Target or something, has really implemented a lot of laser stuff. So it's kind of priced a lot of people out of that market for doing farmers markets or art store, whatever. It's just kind of priced those people out because, of course, it's for $1 at the dollar store, or it's super cheap at Target or Walmart, or even gift cards and things. You will see laser cut stuff as part of the gift card, which is something that I'm actually working on myself. Now, that just really changed, what you can make money on. But funny enough, my yin yang kitties are still selling like crazy. So we're in this weird AI art part, and we're still half in the old and half in the new. And I'm not really sure where that's going to go. Can you still make money selling laser products? And I also, leave a comment below and let me know where you're at with that. I mean, have your sales gone down since last year? Have they gone up? Have you had to pivot? What's going on? Just would like to have, all this just down in a video for posterity. If you have other things that you want to mention that I forgot, would be great. Just have something in the comments to say, okay, this is how I was dealing with, this is what I was thinking about lasers right now. And then, next year when we talk about this again, you can go back and see, hey, was I right? Or, what are your predictions? I will be around if I could possibly help it, because I just love this stuff, and it's what I wake up and want to do every day, at least for now. So, of course, like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff, and we'll get back to making. All right. Love y'all.